reindeer. Salamat anak.
I brought soy sauce chicken.
I brought the pancit.
I brought the food.
I brought the Peking duck.
That crispy skin.
Lunar New Year is such like an interesting celebration because there's so many things that I do now that I remember doing as a kid when my grandparents were still around.
What is your zodiac sign?
I'm goat. I remember because I'm Capricorn.
Oh yeah.
I'm the year of the horse. I like to run, so it makes a lot of sense, right?
What gen are y'all? Were you born here? Were your parents born here?
I'm a fourth generation Chinese American. My great grandfather was the first one in my family that came here in the 40s or 50s.
Wow.
Kim, how about you?
I'm like 1.5. My mom was born here and my dad came from Hong Kong when he was very, very young.
My grandpa's from Hong Kong. I've never been though. I was actually planning on going before
I've never
the
been
pandemic.
either.
I'm going at the end of February.
I'm gonna come.
Let's go. I'll see you there. Seriously.
My sister, she just said like being there was something indescribable.
But I used to go to Korea on the summers up until I was 12, but I haven't been back since, and I really want to go. Ping, Ariel, where are y'all from?
I grew up in LA, where a lot of like Asian kids grew up, which I felt really lucky to be surrounded by, not feeling like I was eating the weird lunch at school and stuff. It's always great to be around people who understand that this is just like your life and your culture.
In the Philippines, we have this shrimp paste called bagoong, but it always has this like interesting smell. So to bring that around other people who aren't used to that, I always was kind of shy about it.
That internalized racism
Yep.
sits deep decades later, still undoing it. When friends would come over and my grandma was making kimchi, they'd always say, "What's that smell?" And then I would be embarrassed about something that's so integral to my culture.
I feel really proud of, our food and being able to have like our identities in something that's so important.
I grew up so Americanized. At the time, I didn't realize that I was probably trying to be more like the people I surrounded myself with versus just taking the time to ask my parents more, Now I'm taking a lot of the time to do that.
What a reminder, it's never too late to learn to
No,
love your
not at
cultural
all.
identity.
Not at all.
I'm biracial, so it's never being enough of one thing or the other.
Right.
Me being Filipino and getting like made fun of. Going home to my mom, trying to ask her how do I deal with these things, she didn't necessarily have the words or experience to help me process that. Now I have like the vocabulary to be able to process.
A memory that always comes back to me is like in middle school, not many Asian kids were playing basketball, and it was me and one other friend. We were given nicknames. My friend was chin number 1 and I was chin number 2. And then like we just rolled with it, Fast forward to now, I interact with running, and maybe some of you similarly, as a way to show that I can do this, I can do that as an Asian person.
I grew up around a lot of Asian kids, but it wasn't all wonderful. In fact, I was made fun of a lot for just having my name not be Western. I'm Ping, And it was the Asian kids who were making fun of me because they were all named like Jessica or like, Thomas or whatever, it was like, you pick on others in order to not feel like you're next.
I hate that because names are so special. They're part of our heritage. They're our identity. We carry our lineage and our ancestors with us.
Right.
My middle name means one of great wisdom. It's Suji. And when people found that out, they would say sushi, sushi. And so I would kind of westernize it and say my middle name's Susie. And it wasn't until I got way older where I was like, wait, this means one of great wisdom. Own that.
Yeah.
Okay, I have a fun question. If you could have a running partner, dead or alive, who would it be?
I instantly thought of Cheetah.
My mom, being at this age now and appreciating that Filipino culture, and I would love to have conversations with her, go on a long run, just ask questions and just be there with her now. Chella, what about you and running? Like, what's your relationship with running?
My dad, would always go on runs, and he would just, like, come on. So I went, and it was just the best feeling.
Running's been like the one constant thing in my entire life. Eventually, Old Man Run Club, which is where we met.
That just became a group that I started running with, and I haven't stopped since because I found a community. It felt like home from day one.
I've only been running for a few months, and I just thought running wasn't for me. I hated it. But Chella and I hang out a lot, and I would just always see him run. One time we went on vacation, and I'm thinking, vacation, relax. He's running in the morning, and I thought, if Chella can do it, maybe I can too.
I didn't run at all until like 2017. It was the only thing I felt comfortable doing and like releasing anxiety.
So early on in the pandemic, I started running a lot, but at the same time, Manhattan, Chinatown, my hometown neighborhood, was really suffering. Businesses were closing and morale was extremely low. So I started something called Run for Chinatown. I got friends and family to donate $1 per mile for every mile that I covered, and raised about $25,000.
Whoa.
That's amazing.
That's so amazing.
Oh my God.
So I'm trying to share that power, with as many people in the Asian community as I can.
Do you guys ever feel like you're not Asian enough?
Yes. I mean, also being biracial, you know, I just feel like I live on this continuum of many different identities, or in between a lot of different binaries, you know, race being one of them. I really relate to what you were saying about growing up around like predominantly white people, being very Americanized. I feel so grateful that my grandparents were in my life because that was kind of the only window that I had. Similar to like disability, gender, race, so many stereotypes about the way that you have to be. And so we just compare ourselves to like, you know, just what is projected onto us. But like when I sit with real people like you and you know, like we define what being Asian means to us. And that's the most real thing.
We're finally like realizing that these things that we're trying to like define are actually just fine the way they are. And it's like, who makes us who we are? So it was so nice to hang out with everyone.
Tomorrow we run.